Okay, so this is the 5:45 p.m. Cat 4-5 race at Pacific Raceways. This is a points race tonight. So on every lap, the first person across the finish line gets 2 points, and the second person gets 1. Whoever gets the most points at the end of the night wins. And because every lap counts, it ends up being a very fast race. It could be very challenging. So now it's time for my excuses. I was at work for the last 5 days, so I hadn't gotten a chance to ride. I was also up at 4 in the morning, and I really wasn't used to this heat. This is just the end of the heat wave over the weekend, and I was gone during it. So this was the hottest I've been all summer on a bike.
That's what I thought too, but everyone seems like they say it's
Now on the warm-up before this, I could tell I wasn't at 100%, and that this was going to be a challenging race, especially since I had to do the 7 p.m. right after this. So with all that being said, my goal for this race was to help out the team and do whatever I could to get people who are stronger in better positions. So my plan for tonight was to do an early attack at the end of the neutral lap and try to get a bit of a gap between the field and just go hard and try to secure that first lap. And I see Max has a similar idea. He's out front a little earlier than I planned. And I notice he's looking back a lot, and I think this is the time to take advantage of this gap. The rest of the field is kind of taking it easy because it's a neutral lap. And if we can get a big enough gap, then we could secure the first set of points. But the rest of the field doesn't fall for this trick, and they stay right on my wheel. So now that I see I'm towing the field, I changed my plan, and I tried to see how fast we can get this group going, and hopefully stretch out the field enough, maybe even split it in half. With our team being so large tonight, it's in our best interest to have the field stretched out. When it's all bunched up, it's a lot easier for someone to initiate attack from behind and catch us off guard. If the field's all strung out, our team can stick together and just pace line. So that's why at the end of the neutral lap, I've already gone into the red. I wanted to get the field fast and strung out, and I'm hoping our team is sticking together just a few wheels behind me. So this first turn is a double apex that usually creates gaps in the field, and it's right before we enter a tail end section, so this is normally a good time to launch an attack. But tonight I don't have the energy to sustain this attack for the rest of the lap, so I'm really just using this as a chance to practice race tactics. So this apex guy off front takes the first 2 points, and his teammate sprints for the remaining point. And tonight I know I have no snap in my legs, so that's why I don't even try to sprint. So on the backside straight, I see Luis is chasing down a solo rider. He's got a bit of a gap, so I move up to the front just to make sure no one chases it down. This is Luis's first race at Pacific Raceways, and he's making a classic mistake. On the second to last turn, he's got a big gap, but that gap can close real quick. That final sprint to the finish is a lot longer than you think, and these group of people up front are picking up the pace, and I know they're trying to get that second place from him. So I stick on their wheel just to warn Luis.
Go!
So that sprint I had to do really hurt. And as a result, on the back straight, I'm not able to hang on as the field accelerates. But I'm also not too worried. I know as soon as we enter the headwind portion, that field really bunches up. So rather than sprinting like this guy in orange, I just keep a steady pace, knowing I'll be able to connect with them on the second to last turn. This is a good lesson to learn at Pacific Raceways. If you attack on the back straight, you have to keep that attack going for the rest of the lap. Because even someone as fatigued as me is able to catch back up with everyone. So this is how I know I'm not able to do anything tonight at Pacific Raceways. I don't have the snap in my legs for a sprint tonight, and the only other way to really score points is to attack on the backside straight, like this guy, and keep up that intensity all the way to the start finish. That's a hard 2.5 minute effort that I can't do right now. So as I come to the second to last turn, I see a good setup. Stan's a great lead out, and I know Luis is feeling good tonight.
Behind Stan if you can.
So I tell Luis to get behind Stan. And I tell Stan to move to the right,
Go.
and I tell him to go.
Go, Stan. Go.
And again, if I had the legs tonight, this was a pretty good setup. But I don't.
Nice. Nice job. You got it.
So I went to the back of the field, rested for a bit, noticed my heart rate gone down a lot. And I also see that the field has slowed down considerably. Normally we're doing over 30 miles an hour on this portion of the course, and we're just doing 26. Maybe the front of the field's tired from all the constant sprints, and I know this is a good opportunity to attack. Whenever the field slows down, that's when you attack. I'm boxed in, but I do see Evans behind me, so I slow down a bit and ask him to move to the left, and I initiate an attack. And normally, this kind of attack is something I can hold all the way. But tonight I just can't. My muscles are just completely fatigued. And I look back and I see we have a good gap, but it hurts because I know I can't sustain this effort. Any other night, I probably would have been able to get first, but not tonight. So again, I'm using tonight as practice. See, there's 4 of us with a decent gap to the field. So I know we have the ability to slow down right now and focus on this sprint. I don't want to be on the front, and with our big gap, I know I can afford to slow down and let the others go in front of me. I see all three of them slow down even more. So I move far over to the left, hoping to surprise them and prevent them from latching onto my wheel. I went too early on this, and once I realized I'm in third, I immediately stopped this effort. And as we cross the start-finish line, I see the 2 to go sign. I see there's a gap between the rest of the field. This is a great chance to make a breakaway. So I put in an effort to try to catch back up with everyone and try to see if we can work together to the finish. So any other night at PR, this would have been great. 4 people way off the front with 2 laps to go. But since it's a points race tonight, these 3 people aren't thinking about the finish. They're thinking about this lap. And I also don't have the energy to really stitch this together. So I'm trying to motivate these other 2.
We got 2 laps to go. We can take it to the end.
So I'm telling them to do short and fast pulls. So we have to chase down that Audi guy and prevent the field from catching us.
Short, fast pulls.
But these other 2, they're not willing to work for this break. We should be doing 32 miles an hour right now. I flick my elbow. No one comes by. And as a result, we just start slowing down. So we fail to organize, and as a result, the field catches us. So we're on the last lap, and my attempt to form a break with 2 laps to go has just completely wasted my legs. So right now, I'm just hoping to hang on to the finish. So again, on the back straight, I'm trying to conserve energy for the finish. So I just drift to the back, knowing that on the second to last turn, we're going to bunch up. So Max comes up, and I tell him to move to the outside of this turn, so that way we come into the last turn on the protected side. So I see Stan, and I know I don't really have a lot of energy left, so my plan is to lead him out. I try to get in front of him, hoping he gets on my wheel. And that way we can take the final turn on the downwind side. Again, I'm in a good position for a sprint. I was sheltered from the wind, but I just didn't have anything left in my legs. This was a really difficult race for me, but I just used it as an opportunity to practice some racing tactics. And now it's time to get ready for the 7 p.m. race.
All right.